Welcome to a quick sharp review of the Monstress Omnibuses, or they call them Book 1 and Book 2. I'm going to be talking a bit about these physical releases. I'm going to be talking about the story itself and what music I'd recommend listening to if you're going to read it. So these are pretty big books, both nice hardcovers. This is sort of trade paperback for size reference, so bigger on that side. In terms of spines, nice solid spines. You'll notice that book 2 is slightly bigger, just a little bit more content. Both of these have around 3 volumes, or around about, I think, 18 chapters of the series, which is still ongoing. So there's going to be more of these, at least one more, I'm not sure how many. A really nice detail on these that I love is you get this nice shiny title here. You get it on here, and then it matches the color of that sort of binding stuff. If you can see that there, you can see that green there and the red one there. It's a nice detail, unnecessary but nice. Beautiful artwork on the covers. This one just has phrase and stuff, but I like that this one has nice artwork on the cover and nice artwork on the back as well. I feel like, you know, if you're probably picking up book 2, you sort of know what you're getting into, whereas they probably needed to sell people on it with this first one. And speaking of artwork, just across the board, this series has beautiful artwork by Sana Takada and nice writing by Marjorie Liu. I also love when books have a map like this. It reminds me of old fantasy novels that I used to read when I was a kid. I think all the best fantasy series have a good map in somewhere in the book, and this one's got it in the front and the back in both of these series. So it's a really, again, nice detail. I've never actually picked up the trade paperbacks of these, so I'm not sure what they're like, but the quality of these books are really nice glossy paper. There is some like one little paper one here. I'm glad they sort of put artwork there, or the map, instead of just wasting that stuff like a lot of nice hardcover versions will do, just a black page. And then we just see this awesome sort of artwork that we're getting here. This is also a sewn bound book as well, so really strong stuff. These go for about 60 Australian dollars. You can, you know, put that into whatever country you're in and sort of figure out how much it costs. In terms of the story, Monstress is a dark fantasy series which follows a girl who has a monstrous power inside her, and that's all I'll really say about it. One of the joys of this series is trying to figure out what's going on as you go along. I will say that I was fairly lost when starting this, because it throws you, right in, and I think a lot of people have that same experience. And so I didn't love it the first time I read through this book 1. When book 2 finally came out, I reread it, and because I understood stuff earlier, I enjoyed it a lot more, and I got a lot more out of it. There's just a lot of warring factions and tons of characters. Some of the characters look quite similar. There's all this sort of lore that isn't, we don't get any sort of big exposition dump. We get little tidbits every now and then through what characters are saying, and we get little sort of in-between chapters, either like posters or excerpts from lessons by some of the scholars of the world. So it makes this really interesting way to find out what's going on. Again, awesome designs of some of these monsters. Very, very cool. Main character is interesting. She's sort of an anti-hero, I guess, in the way that Guts in Berserk is. And I see this series get compared to Berserk a lot because of that, and because it's a dark fantasy. I think that's a poor comparison. I went into this thinking that it was going to be similar. I wouldn't recommend someone going into this if they think it's going to be like Berserk, because it's just not, all right? Going into this feeling like it's going to be this big sort of fantasy, sci-fi epic with interesting world building and interesting characters who don't always do what you'd expect, and there's a lot of mysterious stuff going on, so it's fun to just figure out what's going on in this world. And obviously the artwork is pretty incredible. So I definitely recommend this, even if, you know, you start reading and you're going, oh, I'm not sure. I'd probably push through, you know, come back to it if you're, you know, not feeling like you're really getting it. You'll get more on a second read. So yeah, I'd highly recommend this series. Book 2 was, I think, even better. The action was a bit more fast paced because we're starting to get moving in some of these plot lines now. I'd recommend listening to, there's a playlist I'll put in the description. It's like a dark fantasy sort of playlist. I usually use it when I'm listening to Berserk. I think it works well when reading this as well. Even though I said before, don't compare this series to Berserk, but it's that sort of vibe of dark fantasy, and there's battle, but there's also somber moments of reflection. It's a good series. I'm looking forward to the rest of it. It'll probably be a while till we get the next one of these. I know there's around 8 volumes that are currently released, and it usually takes about a year for each one, and then there'll probably be another year after that before the big deluxe omnibus version. So expecting another 2 years. I'll probably have to reread the whole series again before that. But yeah, really enjoying this series. Interested in their other work that they're starting to put out, and probably going to pick that up as well at some point. But yeah, let me know what you think. And yeah, do you like Monstress? Do you think it's similar to Berserk? I don't. Don't make the comparison. Anyway, thanks, bye.